Cabriole, Nerude and Master J were the three popular ones with punters a few moments back. Starter has a look at them for the last of the day. Clark's of the course just behind the gates, I think keeping one intact. What's the story there? Yeah, I think everything's right to go. They're racing. Come out pretty well. Cabriole won the jump and will lead. Whaley got away okay. So does Nerude on settling down. Pamelino up there early as well. There's Stretch diving around the outside to be in the speed battle. Master J got away on level terms. It's hurrying up on the rail to be third. Nerude just behind them now. Fifth. C wins Pamelino, then Tex and Mitzi. Mystical Aura back at the tail of the field with Renmark. They've cast the first couple of hundred behind them, and look at Cabriole, Speed Machine, bowling along 2 lengths in front of Stretch, running second. Whaley is third on the fence. One further back to Master Bay, just being joined on the outside by Nerude, so the favourites there together. 3 further away to C wins Tex and Mitzi Pamelino. They make a line of 3. A couple further back there to Mystical Aura. And last of all is Renmark. Cabriole, it's giving its back as a big side. It's 2 in front of Stretch, which is forced to give chase. Now Nerude's the one to come out of the pack and chase these 2 leaders. Whaley's had enough. It's starting to drop off, and Master J around the outside under heavy riding by Trisel. Tex and Mitzi trying to come into it further out as well, and then followed Mystical Aura. Stretch on the outside. Grab Cabriole coming to the home turn. Behind them is Nerude, not going well enough. Master J and Pamelino's the widest runner into the straight. They haven't got Cabriole. Here's Stretch having a crack down the outside. Cabriole, Stretch and Whaley poking through on the centre, but Cabriole in front. Oh, it's going to lead from barrier to box, and Cabriole wins the last from Whaley. Dive through to get second. Third is Stretch. Fourth is Nerude. Master J was fifth. It was a beaten horse a long way from home. Next was Renmark, Mystical Aura. Pamelino, it made a bit of a dash at them. It's third last. Second last, Renmark, and Tex and Mitzi is last to pull up in the last of the day. Cabriole is first. Well ridden too by Jeff Snowden around the $3 from Whaley and I think Stretch. I see them across the line as 2, 5 and 7. We'll see if the judge agrees. Well, Cabriole got out, went quick, trained by Robert Knight at Armadale, and Jeff Snowden the rider. Good on you, Jeffrey. Good to see you have a change of luck. He tells me he's driving all the way from Armadale to Tamworth tomorrow for one ride. That's dedication. So 2, 5, 7 and 4. Cabriole owned by Robert and Mrs. R.M. Knight. Robert trains the horse. Mrs. Janelle Snowden, Mrs. N. Swan S. Butler F, and Mrs. D. Knight P, and Mrs. V. Johnston by Navarre out of Hello to Hear. Second home would go to Whaley. Dive through in the centre, Matty Powell, but never going to get the winner. Trained by Paul Grills, ridden by Matty Powell, by Klengelad out of Kalinas, owned by Mrs. A. Barnier, Mrs. A. Burke, Mrs. B. Lenahan, Mrs. J. Atkin, R.D. Lenahan, Mrs. B. A. Vivas, P.J. Grills, Mrs. K. Taylor, Mrs. C. L. Upton, and their connections. Now, Stretch would be third. Sue Big for Leslie Jeffries, owned by Leslie, J.H. Manning, Miss N.J. Jerd, Miss Norma Jerd, B.M. Potter, D.M. Graham, K.A. Thomas, Miss M.A. Porter, and Miss K. Morgan by Strategic Parity. Nerude finished fourth, and Master J, I think, probably finished up fifth. Master J beaten as they straightened. It was certainly under heavy riding. Now the margins are a half by head, 119.44 our time, a half by a head, 119.44. Now, when you look at the book, you think, gee, they've taken 4 seconds off the record. No, just remember, we started them at the 1350. We started them at the 1350, not the 1400. So don't worry about that, comparing that time with the time shown in your book. Okay, Jeff Snowden brings Cabriole back to victory in the last event of the day from Whaley and Stretch.